Hello, welcome back to the Wonder of Prayer. It's so great to see you here. We're so glad you could join us. We have been thinking about what we pray. We started to look at the Lord's Prayer last time. We saw that Jesus tells us to pray, "Hallowed be your name," where we are praying about God's reputation. And the next thing he tells us to pray is this: your kingdom come. Your kingdom come. Now, what does that mean? Well, you might have been wondering, why on earth is Barnaby wearing a football shirt and a silly red headband? What is he doing? Well, you see, praying, your kingdom come, reminds me of Sports Day. You know, Sports Day, maybe you call it something else, but it would be about this week in the summer term, where you spend a whole day doing loads of different sports, trying to help your team become champions. Maybe you had colours like this, maybe you're part of the red team and you wore something red, or maybe you're part of a house name or an animal name or something. But that whole day you spend trying to help your team become champions, doing all sorts of different sports to help your team become the champions. I wonder what sports you might have done. Maybe you did shot put. Or maybe you did long jump. Or maybe you did hurdles. Whatever it is, that was Sports Day. You want your team to become champions. Now, being a Christian, following Jesus, and praying your kingdom come is praying for God to be the champion. Because if you're a Christian, you're on God's team. You might have a team on Sports Day, but you are on God's team. That means you want God to be the champion. That is what it means to pray, your kingdom come. It's to pray, God, we want you to be the champion. There's three ways which God can be the champion in your life and in my life. 3 ways that might look like. I want you to try and remember these, okay? So I might say them a couple of times. 1, I want him to be champion in our lives when we follow God. We also want to tell others about God so they follow him. But also when Jesus comes back and everyone sees that God is the champion when Jesus comes back. So he's got 3 things, 3 actions. When we follow God, when our friends follow God, and when Jesus comes back and everyone sees God as the champion. So when we pray, your kingdom come, we're praying for those 3 things to happen. Now actually, being on God's team and wanting God to be the champion is a lot better than Sports Day. Because when you're doing Sports Day, you don't know if your team's going to win. And you get quite nervous, don't you? And it's quite scary because you don't want to lose, but you're not really sure if the yellow team, they're looking pretty good this year. And they might win and not you, and that'd be quite sad. But actually, when you're on God's team, you know 100% definitely you are going to be on the winning team. Because Jesus has risen from the dead, you know for sure that God's team is going to win. That everyone will see God as champion when he comes back. So it's a bit like Sports Day, but it's much better than Sports Day because we are on the winning team. God is the champion. So when we pray, your kingdom come, we're praying for God to be the champion. Remember those 3 ways? Maybe you can pause it and try and say it before I do. The 3 ways that God can be champion. Try and pause it and then say it to each other. Or say it to yourself. But those 3 ways are: 1, following God ourselves. 2, our friends following God. 3, Jesus coming back. We do them again. 1, ourselves following God. 2, our friends following God. And 3, Jesus coming back. That is how God is champion. So we can be a part of that when we tell our friends about Jesus, or when we decide to do what God says and not what we want to do, or when we wait and pray and hope for the day when Jesus comes back. Because when he comes back, the third thing, he's going to bring his kingdom. And as described in the end of the Bible, in a book called Revelation, chapter 21, it says some things about the kingdom and how amazing it's going to be. It says there's going to be no pain, no crying, no death, none of the bad stuff. All the bad stuff will go, it will be only the good stuff. God's kingdom will be amazing when he comes back and changes the world, makes it new. So to be on God's team is to be on a really great team. It's on the winning team and a team that will be in God's kingdom forever. So when we pray, your kingdom come, we're praying that God would be the champion with those 3 ways that I've mentioned before. I'm going to pray them now. I'm going to give you an example of what it looks like to pray your kingdom come. That might help you think about how you can pray yourself today and on other days. I'm going to pray that now, and then you can pray it later once you've gone through some questions. Let me pray. Father in heaven, your kingdom come. We pray that we would follow you. We pray that my friends would follow you too, that they would know that you are the champion. And we pray that you would come back so that the whole world might see you as the champion. Your kingdom come. God, we want you to be the champion. Amen.